Hello, Senators. Thanks for the opportunity to testify. I am the Executive Director of an organization called Hawaii. We have about 8,000 members statewide. We're trying to support the effort to gather signatures on petition, and also organize the rally last week and ongoing rallies really to address the furlough project issue in an expedient way. Today there are rallies being organized by members across the state, including on Molokai and Hawaii Island, and petitions being gathered still on Kauai. So I just want to know that efforts are ongoing. The solutions that our members have been discussing for the past couple of weeks have really focused on a couple of specific steps. One is the legislature calling a special session to come up with a portion of the funding to restore furlough Fridays. That would hopefully trigger creating a incentive for the parties to come back to the table, reopen a contract and negotiate, and encourage the DOE and the union to come up with also a portion of the resources which would make up the remainder of the days. It's a solution where each party is required to give a bit, and it's a solution that would offer expedient reopening of the schools. So that is the conversation our members have been having around that idea. If there are other sources of funds that can be used, if NRA Part B funds can be used, if there are efficiencies to be had within the DOE, we're all for that. I appreciate the questions the senators have asked about other alternatives. But the bottom line is that this must be done in an expedient manner. I guess that's the one point I would add to our written testimony, which is that I think the thing that's most troubling about the situation is the lack of a sense of urgency. A friend of mine this day likened it to a group of surgeons standing around a patient in need, and arguing over whose responsibility is to perform the operation while the patient's bleeding to death on the operating table. And that was a very accurate analogy. I want to thank the senators who feel the sense of urgency and have taken it upon themselves to initiate and sign a petition within the Senate to call a special session. On this committee, Senators Nishihara, Baker, Hoosier, Fukunaga, Espero, Ige, Gabbard, Chanoplin, Padani, and Goletaria. Did I miss anybody? I just want to thank you all for taking initiative to move this forward in a way that addresses that sense of urgency I think everyone in this room feels.
Actually, Senator he signed, Senator Gabbard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I also understand that your colleagues in the House, some of them have begun a similar initiative. And I suppose if there's one thing I would encourage everyone in this room to do is when we're done here, to go upstairs, talk to a representative and ask them if they have gone on record in favor of some speedy action to reopen schools, calling a special session, doing whatever it takes to resolve this immediately. That's something that we can do today. And again, thank you for the time to share some ideas and to testify.
Thank you, James. I believe you have a question up here. Senator Heavy?
You do realize from prior testimony that we have been told by the people in the Department of Education and others that this could immediately be resolved if the union and the DOE got together and took the furlough days and non-teaching days, so that those people who decided to take and hold our kids hostage, and our parents and teachers in the classroom hostage on teaching days, could easily change it and have, at least for the remainder of the year, as the Senator Nishihara suggested, the furlough days be on non-teaching days. That would immediately solve the problem. You do know we don't have to convene the legislature to have that done. The people vested with the responsibility, the DOE, which is an elected body with their own governorship, could do that without legislative convening.
I guess I would say two things to that. One is, my question would be, what's the likelihood of that actually happening without a special session? And if the likelihood is good, then I'd say let's go for that solution. But if not, and if the special session is the way to trigger the parties to come back to the table, let's do that. I mean, my interest, and I think the interest of most people in this room, is mainly in an expedient solution, getting this done right away. I guess the other thing I would say is I understand the anger and the frustration with other parties but I think for the sake, again, of reopening the schools immediately, it's time to put some of that aside and say, whatever it takes, whatever it's going to take right now, who's going to step forward to do that? And I think that's what we're here to
Thank you, James. Let me point out also, though, even though we do have a circulation that is being circulated, we do have an advisory committee in which members who have not signed are willing to serve on this committee and look at the situation. So there are, all of us up here are concerned and are hoping that we can make progress on the matter. Moving on, Sean Connolly.